wigs for anyone who might have attempted wigs or has never even touched them before. First thing we've got your character sorted. What to do next? Find the right wig. We've got a variety of different wigs all over the internet in the high street that you can find. We've got kind of natural, soft-looking wigs for general anime characters, not over-the-top styles. Kind of like Mickey's there, it's flat, it's natural looking. We've then got the fluffy ones like Cosworks and Coscraft Cell. They're called the Punky XL, I think. They're really good, really voluminous at the top. They're double wefted as well, so you can part them and you don't get the netting showing. But downside, they don't look as natural. Not good for just kind of flat styles, they're more ideal for spikes. We've then got the extra long wigs for ponytails, down, waves. You can kind of tell what they're going to be like when you buy them. eBay are generally the thinner ones. You want to go for individual stores for the thicker wigs. These are used for braids, stubbing, back partings. The thinner ones, which you generally get from eBay, you can do with down styles, possibly waving as long as it's not too thick. Where to buy wigs? I'm sure most people buy them from the internet, yeah. There are, I think it's called Gemma Wigs or something, on High Street, probably all over the UK. There are a few others. These are kind of like generic, normal styles if you want to just kind of fancy your hair up a bit. Really lovely quality. It's probably Connect Long, I think. Sometimes you get a bit higher grades. Only downside really is the price. You're looking at about 50 quid just for a shoulder length wig, which for anyone that buys on eBay and stuff, that's a bit out of the price range normally. Another upside, they also come with tiny little combs all around the front. This is to give you extra grip, and it really helps if you don't like wearing wig caps as well. Where else have we got? eBay, we've got hundreds of different wig sellers on eBay. They're fantastic. Some are brilliant, some are kind of average, some you never want to buy from again when you get it. Colours, styles, thicknesses, you've got everything on eBay really. Downside, look out if they're from China or America, you're going to have longer shipping times and possibly hit with customs as well. Most people generally don't know how customs work unless you kind of look up on HMRC. It's any parcel coming in from outside of Europe, they check every 1 in 5, I think, randomly. If it's not marked as a gift, it's anything over £32 will be charged VAT, which is obviously now 20%, and generally you get a handling fee depending on who's shipping it. I think it's £8 from Parcel Force and £10 from Royal Mail. If it's marked as a gift, you've got anything over, I think, £50 possibly. So some sellers you'll see, they say we won't mark it down, we won't mark as a gift. This means it's just so if you do get hit by customs, you get to pay it. What have we got? Online stores. So this is places like Cosworks, Coscraft, Art of Wigs, and Figure, which is a US-only website, and they only ship within the US. However, Katie Bear, who's a wig stylist in America, does an ordering form, but downside is it generally takes about 3 months to arrive. So you get some really lovely wigs from them, and you get some amazing lengths as well. There's one which is about 71 inches, I think, which is probably about to the floor for someone my height. So if you want something like that, really think in advance. Art of Wigs, I've not actually ordered from yet, but they have a really unique kind of colouring system. It's not just one block colour. You have about 2 to 3 to 4 different shades mixed in, which makes it look absolutely gorgeous and so natural. Cosworks is obviously the Coscom shop now. They're pretty average for what they stock. I don't think they stock sepia wigs anymore, they stock the new look ones. To be honest, unless there's something specific there that you want, they're pretty much the same as what Coscraft stock, except Coscraft are a hell of a lot cheaper. You're not going to get hit by customs, and it's going to come the next day instead of a month. The bottom three on my list there are eBay sellers that I use. Fantasy Sheet have some brilliant ones. They're really lovely colours. They come in a variety of styles, quite difficult to navigate through. They list them as characters, unfortunately. They offer two different shipping methods. They are Chinese, but if you opt for more expensive shipping, it will come in about 3 to 5 working days. The other two are pretty much the same, but perhaps a slightly smaller range. Different types of wigs. We've got different qualities of wigs, really. You've got the party wigs, which I'm sure you've all seen in costume shops, just a really cheap £5 one. They're not brilliant, they're not fantastic, they're shiny, they're good for practicing, really. I wouldn't say use for costumes unless you're really going to alter it. Ayacon and Ayacon are what you generally find with eBay sellers and most individual sellers nowadays who aren't doing either specialist heat-resistant wigs or the higher grade ones. Nice general quality, it can dye, it can be styled with Patsy's hairsprays, heat. We then have Modon Powerlon. This is sold by Cyprus over in Japan. They now have an English-based website for ordering. Very expensive, you're looking at about $120 per wig for an average length. I personally wouldn't use them for costumes unless you're really going to get some use out of the costume, or possibly competitions or photo shoots or anything. Heat resistant becoming a lot more popular nowadays. There's really not a lot of difference in quality to the Ayacon wigs, other than you can't really style it too much with hairdryer. You really got to go at it. And then obviously you have real hair wigs. Cosworks stock a few. I find them pretty damn creepy. And they're fucking expensive. You're looking at 200 quid for a wig. And they're nice. Downside is if you're not a hairdresser, probably going to struggle styling them. Products. So any type of hairspray is going to work. You want light layers. Don't hold spray until it's dripping. It won't dry, it'll be sticky, there'll be flies stuck to it. It just won't be nice. I don't use hairspray a lot, it's really just for kind of flyaways. I know a lot of people use it for spikes sometimes, but I much prefer using Patsy. We've got really two different main kinds, which is the Fructis Manga Head, which comes in at about £2.50 a tub, I think. And you've also got the Got-to-be Glued Patsy as well, which is about £1 more expensive. It does pretty much the same job, so take your preference, smell, texture, whatever you like. Not so much used if you're doing natural, you're using it for kind of teasing. Underneath, getting volume is really good for it. Spikes, obviously. Then onto the more kind of extreme stuff, we've got silicone and polyfiller type stuff that you get in B&Q hardware stores. Bit extreme. Really, really holds it well. I mean, you're not going to move this thing afterwards. Downside is you're not going to move this thing afterwards. So if you do it wrong, you're going to have a spike that goes like that forever. So party wigs, practice, try it out, see how you manage with it. Not everyone can use it, not everyone needs to, depending on what you want to style. PVA, also kind of cheaper option for silicone. It's pretty much the same flexibility, possibly washes out a little bit better depending on how long it's been in. Downside is, depending on what fibre and colour you're using, it can give it a kind of darker, slightly offset colour to what the rest of the fibre is. So I generally use it for stuff you're not going to see, so making wefts that are going to be hidden underneath other layers, and back pieces that you're not going to see because it's attached onto the other part of the wig. General tools you're going to need, really. Decent pair of scissors. You don't have to get hairstyling scissors. They're going to go blunt. You're cutting plastic, not hair. Pins, general straight pins, pin the wig down. Any slides, bobby pins. Hairdryer if you want to try heat styling, same with kettle. Hairbands, wig head, general stuff. If you don't have a wig head, other options are lampshades, balls of newspaper, anything. Even stick on someone else's head and style it. Just watch out for the scissors. I assume people have tried different techniques for putting on wigs. Some people struggle, some people just stick it on and it's good to go. For people with long hair especially, I used to have really long, thick hair before I shaved it off. You do up-in buns all over your head, braids, pin curls, which is just keep twisting and twisting and twisting until it's flat on your head. It's used a lot in Fortis hairstyles, if anyone's seen those. You don't generally want to just kind of shove it all to the back. You'll put the wig on, you'll get a huge lump at the back, and it's not going to look very good. For short hair, I really just slick mine back with some putty nowadays. You don't have to wear a wig cap always. It sticks, it's nice. You're not going to get any hair showing because it's all slicked up. Can or can't use a wig cap depending on what you prefer. I generally do because I've got blue hair and I wear blonde wigs. Pez sells them in the dealer's room. You've got either flesh coloured ones, some places do different coloured ones if you've got black hair and you're doing blue wigs, or especially if you've got a white wig and you've got black hair and you want to get a white wig just to kind of help with the toning down of your hair. Whack it on and then get the wig. I usually do front to back. Some people do back to front and then flip it back, depending on what works for you, really. Polystyrene heads. The little female ones are probably about 3 to 4 inches smaller than general heads. If you're doing spikes or anything, this is fine. If you want to do bunches, ponytails, something that needs a tight slip back style, you want to get it stretched out, otherwise you're going to take it off and it's not going to fit your head. They also do male head forms as well. They're bloody weird looking, but they're about normal size. I generally just stretch out as much as possible, just so you know, whatever you do to it, you're not going to have any trouble getting it on afterwards. And they're just pins everywhere, front, side, back, and you're sorted. Transporting, obviously, you've got a lovely style wig, stick in your suitcase, and it's screwed. Obviously, if you've got buns, ponytails, bunches, you're fine to put it in a suitcase. I usually put wig cap over it or hairnet, stick it